The mighty headbangers of Ironhead are both the group's namesake and its soul. Role: basic melee infantry, upgradable. Double-team headbangers gather around Eddie in a circular mosh pit. Most small infantry that approach will be knocked back and suffer moderate damage. Armed with the highly flammable husks of the wild Razorfire boar, the Razor Girls bring ranged death to Ironhead's enemies. Role: basic ranged infantry, upgradable. Double team: a Razor Girl hops onto Eddie's shoulders, allowing him to select targets for an enhanced damage attack. The stealthy roadies are capable of producing feedback sufficient to bring down even the largest structure. Role: melee infantry, building destroyer. Stealth specialist, hidden from enemies unless in close quarters. Double team: rideable infantry. Eddie jumps atop one of the speaker stacks, getting all the benefits of his fellow roadies' stealth. He's then able to create a feedback blast with knockback. A proud warrior class, the bouncers make up in strength and determination what they lack in intelligence, patience, and basic social skills. Some say their cast iron battle fists hide impossibly delicate, carefully manicured hands. Role: large melee infantry, vehicle killer. Double team: Eddie picks up the bouncer and drops him, doing area damage and knocking back small infantry. Based on the General Lionwhite's legendary defensive installation in the Cleave of the Impaler, these ranged vehicles are both powerful and versatile. Role: ranged vehicle. Double team: drivable vehicle. Eddie can aim and fire the Headsplitter's weapon, doing higher than normal damage. Tamed only by the gentle touch of the Zalia, metal beasts are a vicious foe in battle against infantry. Role: large short-range infantry, melee infantry killer. Double team: rideable infantry. Eddie can aim and fire the beast's potent breath weapon. Led by Keelmaster, the reclusive Thunderhog riders are less focused on doing damage than they are on healing it. Role: support vehicle, upgradable. Soothing bass jams heal nearby infantry. Effect does not stack with additional Thunderhogs. Double team: drivable vehicle. Eddie can take the bass guitar and produce a massive sonic blast, temporarily stunning nearby infantry and vehicles. The ultimate portable stage, when it's time to take the metal to your enemy's front door. Role: massive ranged assault and support vehicle. Pyro mortars rain death upon enemies from afar while portable speaker stacks motivate nearby troops, raising their damage output. Oh, and there's also the front-mounted crusher. Double team: drivable vehicle. Eddie plays the Bladehenge solo, summoning the blade of the metal gods upon his enemies. A clan of outlaw humans, the Fire Barons strive to live only for the next battle, or the next bottle. Or both, that would be fine. Role: fast vehicle, melee killer. Double team: drivable vehicle. Eddie lays down a trail of flaming booze, limiting the movement of enemies. These lowly drowning doom initiates are relatively weak on their own, but tend to gather in crowds, where they can work together to overcome opponents and more easily express their individuality. Role: basic melee infantry, upgradable. Double team: Ophelia falls into a gravedigger's hole and is able to travel beneath the ground. When the time is right, she can burst forth, producing a large explosion. Brides walk the land cloaked in sorrow, searching for love, the only thing they ever wanted during their lives. Or maybe they're zombies who think they look good in wedding dresses. Either way, be afraid. Role: support infantry, upgradable. Localized storm slows enemy movement and attack rate. Effect stacks with multiple brides. Double team: Ophelia dances with her bride and summons forth lightning strikes upon enemy targets. Is Ratgut the master and his rats the minions, or he in fact a prisoner of these ravenous vermin? The truth may be told someday, but not today. Role: short-range infantry, melee infantry killer. Double team: rideable infantry. Ophelia jumps into Ratgut's spacious stomach. From that location's relative safety, she can control her host's disease-ridden friends and focus their attacks on specific groups of enemies. Mysterious phantoms who refuse to let go of life, organists revel in spreading dread to all in earshot. Role: support vehicle. Pipe organ music intimidates foes, causing them to do less damage. Effect stacks with multiple organists. Double team: drivable vehicle. Ophelia takes control of the organist and is able to use him to latch onto enemy units, controlling them manually like a puppet master. The ghastly lightning rod drivers are being slowly executed even while they fight for the cause of the drowning doom. Role: ranged vehicle. Double team: rideable vehicle. Ophelia can aim and fire the lightning rod's weapon. The weapon also can be charged up by holding the fire button, allowing the bolt of electricity to jump across multiple targets. The longer the charge, the more targets are affected, up to a maximum of 8. These haunting baby carriages seem to carry an infinite number of ferocious dolls, who are capable of tearing a vehicle to shreds in a matter of seconds. Role: small ranged vehicle, anti-vehicle specialist. Double team: Ophelia leaps into the brood's void and is able to drive it like a vehicle. When the attack is initiated, the brood will charge forward and explode, raining cuddly flaming death upon everything in the vicinity. An enigma. Who's in there? What does he want? What sort of life did he lead, that his decaying corpse would be capable of wreaking such havoc on the living? These are all excellent questions. Roll support vehicle. Noxious ash weakens enemies and causes them to take more damage from attacks. Particularly effective against buildings. Double team drivable vehicle. Ophelia hurls funeral urns onto the battlefield. The explosion does damage over time to enemies and slowly heals friendly infantry. Treeback is a creature of few words, and prefers to let his crows speak for him. Roll massive ranged infantry. Double team rideable infantry. Ophelia summons Treeback forth from the ground and sits in his tree as he lumbers across the battlefield. Treeback has a powerful melee attack, and his crows continue to attack while his double team is active. These maidens washed their hair in the sea of black tears to give it supernatural luster, strength, and life. Little did they know that after their deaths, their hair would dig its way out of the grave, and pull their heads along with it. A fearsome foe when attacking from afar. Roll basic ranged infantry, upgradable. Double team Ophelia tosses the Frightwig onto an enemy unit, forcing it to attack its allies. Frightwigs take a portion of the damage directed at the unit to which they're attached. Death. Mors Mortis. Le Petit Mort. He has many names, but the legendary soul collector and noted equestrian is here, and he's ready to rock. Roll fast infantry, melee infantry killer. Double team rideable infantry. The Reaper produces an aura of fear, sending enemy infantry running. Then Ophelia can take the Reaper's scythe and target specific enemies. Leather-clad scissor-headed maidens of pain. Roll basic melee infantry. Superior and divine versions available. Double team Doviculus can take hold of a soul kisser and hurl her at an enemy. She'll explode on contact, dealing heavy damage to any target. Regrettably, the soul kisser's life is lost, but her heroic sacrifice will make her legend for generations to come. The Skullraker may have the mind of a demented infant, but he's got the body of a much larger, even more demented infant. Roll large general-purpose infantry, effective at short or medium range. Superior version available. Double team rideable infantry. Doviculus uses his staff to strike the Skullraker's head directly into enemies. The dominatrice's love for their slave is almost as potent as their hatred of Doviculus's enemies. However, in the end, both are treated similarly. Roll basic ranged infantry. Superior and divine versions available. Double team Doviculus jumps atop the slave and is able to manually throw spears at a target. Coil flesh farm specialists take a core of sharp, disease-ridden medical waste and grow a helpless creature around it, informally named the Agony Ball. When hurled at the coil's foes, the ball explodes and rains years of accumulated suffering upon its target. Roll ranged vehicle, infantry killer. Superior version available. Double team drivable vehicle. Doviculus can aim, fire, and roll the Agony Ball, and trigger its detonation. The Heartcutter's sacrificial hearts are selected for muscle mass, blood flow, and ripeness. Originally human victims were used, but the druids, who are otherwise unrelentingly vicious, proved more squeamish than Doviculus had expected. Roll ranged vehicle, anti-vehicle specialist. Double team drivable vehicle. The druid stabs Doviculus himself in the heart, producing an array of deadly blades at the targeted location. The Scream Wagon provides support and motivation to coil forces. Roll support vehicle. Superior version available. Cycles between 3 buffs for nearby allies, reduction of damage taken, increase in damage done, and accelerated growth when summoning new squads. Duplicate buffs don't stack, but Scream Wagons set to different buffs will work normally. Double team drivable vehicle. The wagon sprouts deadly frontal spikes, and the active buff can be cycled. Lithe, elegant, and deadly, the Battle Nun is the most common of the coil's prestigious hierarchy class. Roll melee infantry, hierarchy unit. Superior and divine versions available. Slowly heals nearby minions and quickly regenerates her own health when surrounded by minions. Double team Doviculus must hold an audience with battle nuns to produce level 1 squads. The noble warfathers represent the elite of the coil's hierarchy class. By reading prayers from their unholy tomes, they unleash powerful ranged attacks on enemies. Roll ranged infantry, hierarchy unit. Superior version available. Slowly heals nearby minions and quickly regenerates his own health when surrounded by minions. Double team Doviculus must hold an audience with warfathers to produce level 2 squads. The Overblesser is the singular leader of the coil's hierarchy class. He strides righteously across the battlefield and passes fiery judgment upon his foes from atop a ghastly 4-legged altar. Roll ranged infantry, hierarchy unit. Slowly heals nearby minions and quickly regenerates his own health when surrounded by minions. Double Team Doviculus must hold an audience with the Overblesser to produce level 3 squads. The hate cage is really two distinct creatures, the gigantic, if mindless, legs and the caged demon, who is nothing more than a twisted lump of pure, unfiltered hate. Roll massive ranged infantry. Caged demon spits liquid hate at enemies. Any foes standing near the cage will also be soaked in hate, causing them to take more damage from attacks. Double Team Rideable Infantry. The cage has a powerful stomp attack. Prior to battle, the loathsome Bleeding Death is stuffed violently into its ballistic Iron Maiden. When the Maiden is fired by the coil's pain cannon and the Bleeding Death is finally unleashed upon the battlefield, it brings with it complete destruction. Mortally perforated by its prison, the creature slowly bleeds to death, even while bringing destruction to its foes. Roll massive melee infantry. Refuses to follow orders. Double Team None. Only summonable by guitar solo, Lord Doviculus's unruly tick choppers are impractical under most battle conditions. However, on occasion, their unique demeanor and deadly blood-draining tick attack is a perfect fit for a specific tactical situation. Roll fast vehicle, melee infantry killers. Only summonable via guitar solo. Double Team None. Tainted by greed and bad taste, General Lionwhite's hairbangers are his first line of defense on the battlefield. Roll basic melee infantry. Double Team hairbangers gather around General Lionwhite in a circular mosh pit. Most small infantry that approach will be knocked back and suffer moderate damage. Some accuse the groupies of biting the Razor Girls style, but they maintain that they were doing it first, and that they are only here for the music. Roll basic ranged infantry. Double Team. A groupie hops onto General Lionwhite's shoulders, allowing him to select targets for an enhanced damage attack. The stealthy roadies are capable of producing feedback sufficient to bring down even the largest structure. Roll melee infantry, building destroyer. Stealth specialist, hidden from enemies unless in close quarters. Double Team rideable infantry. Lionwhite jumps atop one of the speaker stacks, getting all the benefits of his fellow roadies' stealth. He's then able to create a feedback blast with knockback. Doesn't loyalty count for anything these days? When the other guards abandoned General Lionwhite, these stylish warriors stuck with him. Of course, that was mostly due to the general lying about the benefits package. Roll large melee infantry, vehicle killer. Double Team Lionwhite picks up the bouncer and drops him, doing area damage and knocking back small infantry. Based on the General Lionwhite's legendary defensive installation in the Cleave of the Impaler, these ranged vehicles are both powerful and versatile. Roll ranged vehicle. Double Team drivable vehicle. Lionwhite can aim and fire the Hairsplitter's weapon, doing higher than normal damage. A lot of people don't know this, but the Kill Master can be kind of a jerky boss. These guys know it, though, and that's why they jumped ship. Also, they were sick of wearing black. Roll support vehicle. Soothing bass jams heal nearby infantry. Effect does not stack with additional glamhogs. Double Team drivable vehicle. General Lionwhite can take the bass guitar and produce a massive sonic blast, temporarily stunning nearby infantry and vehicles. Summon quick bolts of lightning to strike your enemies. Focus your metal into a burst of pyrotechnics that can send enemies flying into the air. A massive power cord that blasts enemies away and shakes the surrounding environment. Create a quick flash pot underneath your opponent to pop them off the ground. Follow up a flash pot attack with a powerful swing for the fences, knocking enemies a great distance away. Rip off a quick lick to ignite a flame jet under the closest enemy. Channel a chunk of metal into your foot to kick enemies in the face with a guitar-assisted rock kick. Drop to your knees and peel off a quick solo, clearing enemies from your path. Stomp the ground and jam your guitar to cause a fountain of sparks to lift opponents off the ground. Launches an enemy toward you. Turn your enemies into living bombs, exploding when they hit the ground. When played near a neutral fan geyser, the fans will be turned to your side. A merch booth is constructed immediately at the geyser and you will start to earn fans over time. Unearth the ancient secrets of the Titans with this guitar solo. Any buried structure that is nearby will respond to the music and rise out of the ground. Among other things, this is useful for gaining access to motor forges throughout the world. Red flowers grow near buried Titan structures. Summon your car from anywhere in the world. Order all troops on the battlefield to your current location, regardless of distance. Summon the rally flag to your current position. All new squads will go to the rally flag after jumping off of your stage. Motivate your surrounding troops to fight harder with an inspirational rock solo. All affected friendly units will deal extra damage for a short time after hearing the battle cry. Create a massive shockwave to melt your enemies' faces. Prevent your enemy from recruiting squads for a short period of time. Summon a group of friendly creatures from Ironhead's homeland. Summoned animals can be ordered and ridden to wreak havoc on your opponent. Invokes an epic, inspiring sunrise. While active, all of your units are immune to the negative effects of debuffs from your enemy. In addition, the enemy's troops will be unaffected by their own friendly buffs. Summons a massive flaming zeppelin that crashes into the ground at your current location. Lock an enemy avatar in place, slowing their movement and preventing them from taking flight. Envelops nearby enemy avatars in a shroud of silence, preventing them from issuing orders or using their guitar for a short time. Summons black tears forth from the ground, healing nearby friendly squads over time. Assaults nearby enemies with an explosion of inky blackness, causing damage in a small radius. Invokes a storm over the battlefield, preventing your opponent from recruiting squads for a short period of time. Produces an illusory squad that takes up load but doesn't cost fans. This fake squad can be ordered around like a real one. It can pretend to attack but won't deal damage, and disappears as soon as it takes damage. Useful for tricking or distracting your opponent. Renders all squads near the avatar invisible to the enemy. Squads behave normally and will attack if positioned near an enemy. All squads become visible if they attack or if the solo's effect times out. Black tear masses are hurled from Ophelia's stage at the targeted location. These do heavy damage upon impact. Hellish chains and hooks shoot forth from the ground, holding any nearby enemy avatars in place for a short time. Sacrifices a large portion of your health to heal and buff your nearby troops. If your health is already low, this solo will be fatal. Poisons the blood and gas tanks of nearby enemies, doing damage over time. Order the Iron Maiden cannon to fire upon your location. Requires a purchased bleeding death. Produces a small agony boil that slowly grows over time and eventually explodes, throwing medical waste in all directions. The boil will also explode on proximity to enemy units, but does more damage the longer it's had to mature. Ignites the sky with the fury of the tainted coil. While active, all coil units on the battlefield deal increased damage based on their distance from their stage. The closer to the stage, the greater the damage. Summon a swarm of 4 tick choppers to attack your enemies. Tick choppers can be ordered but not ridden. Devil thorns seem to grow around ancient relics from the era of the Titans. Wherever you see these, try playing the Relic Razor solo. These artifacts seem to have been deliberately left behind to document riffs and power chords that can be played to invoke specific effects in the world. We can't possibly know what these ancient statues were originally intended to venerate, but it must have been badass, because Doviculus has wrapped them all up and fit them with a ball gag. For every 10 bound serpents you free with Pyro, the metal gods will grant you a sliver of Ormagoddon's undying power. This includes raising your maximum health, your health regeneration rate, your movement rate, and even a health regeneration and damage bonus for nearby allies. Landmark viewers can be activated to get a new perspective on a nearby landmark. What's that? You thought these handy little devices were invented in the 20th century to take coins from tourists? What a fool you were. You couldn't be more wrong. What's it like to have your every preconception about the world collapse around you, leaving you in a quivering mass of scared, confused flesh? How will you lift that empty husk of a body and face another day? Don't worry. The metal gods are here, and will shine when all others have forsaken you. Get up. Find a landmark viewer and take a peek. You may find your faith restored. Artifacts of legend are the keys to the world's true history, feudally chained up by Doviculus in an effort to suppress the truth. Motor forges are doorways to a vast subterranean space, the ancient forge below our feet. Here the land itself is crafted by titans who remained on Earth to construct the world. Their envoy, the Guardian of Metal, will accept fire tributes for favors such as upgrades. For returning the sacred deuce to the place of its creation, the titans have awarded you the Mouth of Metal. Now the song of the titans why? Follow you wherever you go. Fire tributes. Celestial lighters. Ancient flames held high for the metal ballad at the encore of the world. When the metal gods are pleased with your actions, they will award you fire tributes. They can then be traded for powers and upgrades within motor forges. To obtain tributes you can complete primary and secondary missions, free bound serpents, activate landmark viewers, raise buried metal, find sweet jumps, and uncover legends. Buried metal statues are almost invisible when dormant, though the devil thorns surrounding them betray their true origins. These relics date back to the time of the Titans. When raised using the Relic Razor solo, new songs become available for the Deuce's Mouth of Metal, faces of the metal legends carved into the face of the mountain itself. Customize with unlocked effigies purchased in the Motor Forge to show the world the true heroes of the land. Fangeysers explode to life only when a rock stage is set up nearby. Somehow these tiny fans are able to sense the potential for metal and burst through the Earth's crust as if to demand music and merchandise. Fans can be claimed with the Fan Tribute solo. A merch booth is set up and the fans can then be tapped to recruit squads during stage battles. Be careful, though, fans already won over by the enemy will be hostile and will attack you, but not your troops. Note that fans will only accept your tribute when free from distraction. If you play the solo when the geyser is surrounded by enemies, the fans will ignore you. Level 1 unit upgrades are available when your stage reaches level 3. Upgraded units have higher health, do more damage, and have more powerful double teams. To upgrade your level 1 units from the recruiting radial menu, select the unit you want to upgrade and hit. This will upgrade all existing units and any new units of that type for the duration of the stage battle. Use individual orders to send a single squad off to do something on its own or split your army up and conduct a two-pronged attack. To issue an individual order, hold down while near one or more squads. As you move around while holding, you'll see that squads highlight when you face them. While a squad is highlighted, issue a charge, follow, defend, or move order. Note that when you hold, all nearby squads will stop moving so you can more easily approach them to perform an individual order. You can issue individual orders to multiple squads this way, and they will wait to execute the order until you release. Some units have the ability to strengthen, buff their allies or weaken, debuff their enemies. Some common buffs and debuffs raise, or lower, health regeneration, damage done, damage taken, movement rate, and attack rate. Some squads specialize in attacking specific sorts of targets. There are 3 categories to be considered: infantry, vehicles, and buildings. Infantry is generally any sort of person, animal, or creature on foot. Vehicles are mobile machines, and even those with exposed drivers are considered vehicles. Buildings are stages and merch booths. Often when a squad is a counter to one kind of target, it's weaker against other sorts of targets. Spotlights shine down from the heavens upon your squads. This not only makes it easier to keep track of their locations, but provides information about their status. Likewise, brands are temporarily burned into the ground when an order is issued. Spotlights and brands are colored. The tainted coil is capable of producing advanced second and third generation squads. This is done when a hierarchy unit summons a lower level hierarchy unit. So a warfather can summon a second-generation battle nun. That battle nun will then be able to summon powerful second-generation minions. Likewise, if an overblesser summons a second-generation warfather, and he then summons a third-generation battle nun, her minions will be almost twice as powerful as they would be normally. After accumulating enough fans, you can upgrade your stage. This will unlock a new set of squads. There are 4 levels. Your stage starts at level 1. Generally, the higher level stage that's required to recruit a squad, the more powerful that squad will be. The Tainted Coil's army adheres to a strict hierarchy, with battle nuns, warfathers, and overblessers at the top. Doviculus's stage only produces these hierarchy units. Through Doviculus's double team, the hierarchy units are then able to summon their minions directly on the battlefield. Hierarchy units and minions also support each other during battle. Hierarchy units slowly heal nearby minions and quickly regenerate their own health when surrounded by minions. This makes it almost impossible to kill a well-supported hierarchy unit before taking out its minions. The Megastage is equipped with last-ditch defenses that can be activated by double-teaming with its microphone. Speaker blasts at stage right or stage left can be used to damage and knock back enemy infantry attacking the stage. Fans can be called to heal a percentage of the stage's health for a price. Lightning plug bugs congregate in small swarms above the ground. Jumping your deuce through these swarms will get their attention and garner you additional fire tributes.